So yes, we've got a brand new secret update for Cyberpunk 2077 that went live in the back end of the game. So CD Projekt Red is very busy right now with update 1.5, testing it out, and of course the next gen update, but it seems like we're getting very close to something. Hopefully we have an announcement here soon. Plus, a new mod shows off vehicle combat. Check this out right here. This is a really impressive mod. Hopefully this ends up in the game in an official capacity. Hire that modder right there, CD Projekt Red, but we'll dive into that here in just a moment. Also, let's talk about those big expansions coming up later down the road and the possible continuation of side missions that were never finished. So a lot of stuff to talk about in this video. Let's do this. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And let's first of all talk about that new secret update. So yes, we got to go to the Steam database specifically for Cyberpunk 2077. And here we are now. If we scroll down right here, we could see the testing branch has been updated yesterday. So this was very recent. They continue to test something for Cyberpunk 2077. I'm assuming, again, that's going to be update 1.5 that they're really testing out, making sure that it's working very well. I think we're getting closer and closer to this release of patch 1.5, but we should also hopefully be hearing from CD Projekt Red here shortly in the next, I believe, I'm going to take a guess here, in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully we have some sort of blog post, video, or live stream coming up here about update 1.5 and the next gen update. Let me know what you would like to see from this big update. Hopefully it's big. You never know, they could want to, of course, trickle some free DLCs throughout the year until the big expansion. But anyway, let's talk about this one right here. This is super impressive. I want this in the game officially for console players as well. I feel like you guys are missing out on a lot of these PC mods, and that should not be the case. Now it says Cyberpunk 2077 mod adds police car chases and vehicle combat. The mod even boasts wanted levels with varying enemy difficulties. If the modders can put out stuff like this quickly, how is it that CD Projekt Red is so behind? But let's go to this mod, shall we? Check it out right here. And yeah, it's called Vehicle Combat, and it's so freaking cool. It is by, let me see if I can find the name of the actual mod author. It's by Scissors. There it is. Kudos to him for creating this mod. But yeah, he has this video right here, which we could see a little sneak peek of it working in action. It also works on motorcycles as well, but I don't want to show the full video because that's his video. Check it out in the description below. Go to the mod page and then also check out the video. But let's go into some details as to what he has added here. It is super impressive. It says enabling weapons while driving. There was some functionality in the game's code to enable the player to use weapons while driving. So apparently they were working on it. It looks like it was disabled, but thanks to some workarounds, has now been mostly restored. The player can now equip and aim all ranged weapons when driving in a vehicle, equip and use melee weapons when driving in a vehicle, use inhalers and injectors when driving, even without a weapon equipped. They also reworked the police system as well. Enemies in their respective faction area, Maelstrom and Northside, Valentinos and Haywood, have a new ability that lets them call for backup. This was supposed to be in the game, by the way. You guys may remember before the game even released, they were bragging about having multiple police systems, multiple bodyguard systems for each individual faction that would also fight each other as well. But let's keep going here. It says this: when an enemy finishes calling for backup, a star will be added to the system and backup enemies will arrive. These backup enemies will now arrive in vehicles and will chase the player. Attacking cops and killing civilians no longer directly triggers stars. At 4 stars, Max Tech will arrive instead of the respective faction of an area. Max Tech was something that was completely underwhelming in the base game. It says massive improvements to the Max Tech, many improvements to the spawning AI, chase mechanics, and other aspects of these backup enemies. And they did, say they adjusted HP of all vehicles. And of course, larger vehicles will have more health, and the smaller you get smaller health. So that makes a lot of sense, of course, as well. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this mod. And again, it's unfortunate that console players are missing out, and I hope that CD Projekt Red continues their hiring spree and actually reaches out to these modders themselves instead of waiting. That's an interesting thing, by the way. I wanted to mention that on their job listings page, they have a new recruiter position. So they want people to actively go out and recruit new talent to the studio instead of waiting for people to come to them. Now, also, here's a headline that's interesting. It says Cyberpunk's DLCs could surpass The Witcher 3's. That's a tough sell right there. And it says a number of side storylines in Cyberpunk are worth exploring as DLC. If done well, they could top the expansion scene in The Witcher 3. So, out of all the side missions, I have to ask you all, which ones do you want to see continued? Because there were some open-ended, I guess you would say, endings there for a lot of these side activities. Now, it says this right here. It goes on to say, with its many intriguing storylines left unresolved by the end of the main narrative, Cyberpunk has the opportunity to craft DLC better than those seen in The Witcher 3. Despite the disastrous launch of CD Projekt Red's latest title, players that were able to sift through the bugs, found the world design, characters, and quests to still be at the level that's expected of the developer. The conclusions to more than a few side quests were open-ended, leaving many to speculate which ones will be revisited in later expansions. I guess that's kind of the point as well, but some people viewed it as lazy writing as well. Let me know what side of the fence you guys are on this one. Now, check this out. I gotta showcase this. This is so cool. Recently discovered it. A fan reimagines games like Skyrim, Cyberpunk, and more as isometric titles. And, you know, that's one thing that I played all the time when I was younger, especially with, I think it was Fallout Tactics. The good Fallout Tactics. I love that game. But it's really cool here because this guy is super talented. It comes from, let me get his name here, FLURDEH, I believe it is. But check it out. Check out what Cyberpunk would look like as an isometric game. But also be sure to visit this guy's YouTube channel because it has a bunch of demonstrations like this for like Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, and the like. But if we go here, let me zoom it in a little bit. If we go here, you can see how cool this is. And it's very interesting to see something like this because you guys may remember The Ascent. That game came out and it kind of had this type of presentation to it. But I really want to highlight his YouTube channel as well right here. Check it out. Go check out his YouTube channel because there are so many cool videos. But anyway, this brings up the fact that yes, CD Projekt has acquired the Molasses Studio. And they are now known as a CD Projekt Studio. And this is so important because they've made games like this one right here. Check this out. It definitely has an isometric feel to it for sure. So these are the guys right now that are working on a CD Projekt Red IP. Either it's going to be Cyberpunk or The Witcher. So they would be the ones, in my opinion, to give us that isometric look for a game, or perhaps a co-op centric game as well, where it's multiplayer or something like that. A lot of people are saying it's going to be The Witcher, but it could also be Cyberpunk. But the assessment is they're going to want to release a lot of big AAA games and rotate those. But in between those releases, they're going to want those smaller isometric type games, perhaps, or even co-op games in the existing IP. So we'll see what happens. I personally would love to see them work on Cyberpunk, but even The Witcher, man, that would be cool too. But let me know what you guys would like to see from them. But anyway, let's go over your top comments from my most recent video, shall we? Let's do this right now. So my most recent video was called this. I was not expecting this news today. New spin-off game based on CD Projekt Red's IP, new updates. And yes, the Molasses Flood, they are going on a hiring spree right now, and it looks like development is underway, at least in the conceptual stages, I would imagine. So this game is probably years away, whatever they're working on, but let's see what you guys have to say about this one. We have Devin1993 who says, I want the Cyberpunk they promised. Don't we all, man? Don't we all? Like, absolutely. He said, and then we have Dualistic Tickmix who says this, I am not excited for any new CD Projekt Red projects or games until Cyberpunk lives up to the original 45-minute demo, has the cop civilian AI fixed, and adds depth to the city. Yeah, these are simple things that even the modders are absolutely just fixing. Like, it just seems like they're snapping their fingers and boom, hey, we got tons of really cool features in the game. So again, it'd be cool to see the modders down the road say, hey, we have worked with CD Projekt Red to develop the police system, what have you. But I hope, they have to be well paid. I'm going to say that much. Then we have Wally's World, who says this one right here, wow, more big news from CD Projekt Red. I'm so shocked. Haven't heard more news from them in hours. I can sense the sarcasm right there. Then we have the Pelno, who says this: they don't need new Cyberpunk games. They need to finish the game they have. Yeah, and sometimes these studios, they just get ahead of themselves. It's something that always happens, I swear, and they just take on too many projects, and that's why a lot of studios fell. And it's just like crazy to me that in 2022, they're going to try to do parallel development between two AAA titles, start that up while fixing Cyberpunk. I have no idea how in the world they're going to even accomplish this, but only time will tell. But there it is, the latest happenings around Cyberpunk 2077. Hopefully we have a release date soon for update 1.5. I think we're close to a live stream, a video presentation. Something is going to be happening, in my opinion, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, because also they have to talk to their investors. I think it's on the 23rd of this month. So yeah, that's when we'll probably hear from them. There it is, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077 and open world gaming goodness, and I will see you all next time. Take care.